Yo, good morning, traders, and welcome back to another episode of Market in the Morning. We got a bit of a special day going on here. It is July 7th, and the SpaceX is being introduced into the NASDAQ today, the fastest inclusion in history. We'll go over some information. I took down some notes I would love to share with you guys if you do want to cover that. Throw some W's in the chat if you're ready to make some money today, because Market in the Morning starts right now. What's up, guys? What is up? What is up, man? Hello, good morning. Throw those like buttons in the air. Guys, we're going to have Jeeve joining us very shortly. Should be joining us soon, possibly even going into the New York session, so be excited. Throw some likes in there. We'll cover SpaceX real quick. So SpaceX with the record-breaking inclusion. SpaceX is officially joining the NASDAQ today. The fastest inclusion in history, like I mentioned, just 15 days after its IPO. Now, because of the sudden inclusion, index tracking funds are projected to be forced to buy $4.3 billion and $6 billion worth of SpaceX shares immediately. So a lot of the volume we're going to see today is considered forced buying. So it's just something to keep in mind that we do want to keep an eye on. Good day, everybody. Good morning, team. What's going on, guys? So SpaceX joins the NASDAQ 100 today as AI leverage removes tensions weigh. Obviously, there were some headlines I saw yesterday about Iran. So let's hit up headlines, high impact. Let's look up Iran and see what it says. I thought I saw 2 missiles fired or something. Let's see. Iran gas tanker attacked in Strait of Hormuz after ignoring warning, Iranian state media says. So this was about 8 hours ago. At this point, we're not really seeing a reaction to these style headlines. Yo, what's going on? We trade Forex. What's going on, brother? Good morning and welcome to the stream. Welcome. We go live every single day here for Market in the Morning. So definitely feel free to join us. Smash that like button. Be excited. We're going to make some money, mark out some levels, give you guys the full breakdown on the fundamental side. What's going on, guys? We could also see we do have something at 8:30. I'm pretty sure that was the international trade deficit. Yep. So 8:30, we have this. It is under high impact. I will be real with you guys. It is not the strongest of headlines unless there's a major difference or a major shift. So that's what's great with the playbook is it gives you the ability to say, okay, if we're way above expectations, we can look for this style of reaction. Let's see how it reacts on the ES. If we're way above, it would be bearish. If we're way below, it would be bullish. So that is extremely helpful there when using a tool like Market, especially because we're trading financial markets, guys. We want to be able to understand the economic data that comes in and how we could take that information, use it as actionable insights, and trade with it. Hello, I hope you will have NASDAQ live and not 15 minutes late. I don't know why I connect my feed to have live on. I'm not sure. So right now we don't have live futures data. I believe it's 5 to 10 minutes delayed. I do believe some of the Forex pairs are live, but we are working on live data for the market terminal. We will be using TradingView here on the web-based. And what's great with the web-based version of TradingView is we have our market terminal right here because we have market integration. So we could check our calendar here, even check our what's in play. Very cool. And they're updating it right now, guys, on the back end. So it gives you even more information here in your market integration. So extremely cool. Excited to see that. Morning, Moth. How are you? Hope everybody's doing good today. So let's go into some S&P and NASDAQ, some gold. We'll start with gold. I know there's a lot of gold traders out there. Whether you trade GC, which is gold futures, or XAU USD, that's going to be giving you the same analysis. So right now, what are we seeing, guys? We're seeing a bullish shift in gold. Why are we seeing this bullish shift? What's going on, Sadiq? Good morning. We're seeing this bullish shift because soft U.S. jobs data spurs rate cut expectations and lifts bullion. So right now what we're seeing is before we had a very strong chance we're going to hike rates sometime this year. Now with the mixed jobs data that we were getting from last week, things are sort of being put on hold. It's more at this moment being said we're going to wait and see. And what's cool is we could check our FedWatch tool. FedWatch. And we can see what are the odds of a rate hike going forward into our next meeting. And then also what I like to check and what you guys should be checking too is that December meeting odds. So right now, looking at July's meeting, July 29th, that is in 22 days, the next FOMC meeting, there's a 74% chance that we hold rates steady and a 25% chance that we do get one rate hike. Now, what's cool too with the Fed Watch tools, you could hit compare and you could see where we stand in relation to the past few days. And what we see here is a week ago, we were looking at a 33% chance of a rate hike. Now we're only looking at a 25% chance. We come over to December, same thing. The odds have decreased a little bit and the odds of a rate cut have come back on the table. Oh, actually, no, we're right here. So this is rate hike. So we're still leaning a bit more on the rate hike. But we'll see how the rest of the economic data comes out. Jeev is going to be joining us very shortly, guys. I know a lot of you guys are here to come see Jeev as well. He will be joining us very shortly. We're going to run down some market, run down some key levels, break down some S&P and NASDAQ, and gold. And Jeev's going to come in and master it all for us, break down gold, give you guys some great levels and great analysis. We have a breaking headline right here. Trump says Toyota moving production from Mexico to U.S. hails as big deal in result of tariffs, right? So everything that's good, got to take credit for. So that's interesting right here. And what's cool too, guys, with this market update, you could click whichever of these that it's impacting, and it's going to bring it up right here on your terminal for you. I'm not going to, we could do that real quick. NQ, ES, look how quick that pops up. SPX. So let's go back to gold. We are here. Hey, appreciate you, famous. Appreciate you, brother. So gold, what do we have? The soft US jobs. We have lower oil prices. Now, something we've been covering, guys, since the beginning of the Iran war when oil started to skyrocket. I'll show you guys here on the daily time frame. So on the daily, oil was pumping away. We were up at some point. We were up 100% on oil from recent pivots within a month and a half. When that much volume is accelerated, when that much volatility is pushed up, that was really weighing heavy on gold to find any type of support. Now that the dollar is back below 70 again, remember, this was our sort of make or break zone where we had highs around 105, lows around 70. Excuse me. Now that we're back below the 70, things are starting to regulate again. Gold was 30% off of its all-time highs. Take a look at this. Over 30% from its all-time highs before it started to give us a reversal. I've been saying this for the past week. I think it's a great time to start buying gold on a longer time frame, bit of a long-term portfolio hold type of deal, especially if you're getting around here 4,100, we make our way back to 56 or 57. That's going to be a 40% return on that long-term investment. Of course, depends on how you're leveraged and everything else. Thank you, famous. I appreciate you. Let's take a quick look at gold levels. I know you guys love some price levels. Let's see what's popping here on gold. Now, I did have, right off the daily at least, I'll show you. We had this area where price consolidated before we had this next leg lower. What's up, Seb? Since that leg lower, we tried to come into it again. We tried to reject it, but this rejection failed. So this tells me right off the bat that sellers are actually getting a lot weaker at this point. So with sellers getting weaker and the fundamentals flipping a bit more bullish, I'd be a lot more interested in seeing how do we want to react once we break above even this recent area that we had. This is a 4-hour time frame. This was the high of yesterday. Let's mark out previous day high, previous day low. Very easy levels to find, and yet extremely helpful levels to find. Now, let's see. This is garbage. And don't forget, guys, if you got old levels on there, don't get married to them. Delete them. This is a great sign right here, guys. We already broke that previous day low overnight and have made our way back towards our open price of today and back into the green. What I would really want to see on gold, like I mentioned before, is going to be some momentum to bring us higher. Now, the question then becomes, where's our next key level and price target? So I'm not thinking of a sell on gold just yet. I do want to be a little careful, right? Because we know the fundamentals are starting to shift. We're getting a bit more buying pressure on gold lately. I want to see what is it, where are we, and have we found any support or resistance lately. And what I'm really seeing is, first I got to delete a whole lot here. We got to start fresh on this chart. A clean chart is a happy chart. There we go. Perfect. So we came off demand, off previous day low overnight, pushed on higher. Let's check our hourly time frame. Look at that. Again, right here. This is an area that price rejected lower. So now this becomes my main area that we're looking at today. We say, okay, this zone right here, this is our make or break. We either stay below it and I try to look for a short position to trade back to the range, or we're looking for us to trade above it. Say we break above, we hold, we retest, and we take that long. Again, following the trend, following those fundamentals and everything in between. Let's see. So that is gold on the hourly. I would rather buy a dip than sell the rip when it comes to gold right now. Especially because look at the recent days, right? This is June 29th. This was Monday. For the past 7 days, gold has been moving higher, up 5% from those lows. So we really do want to be following that trend. And what will really solidify this trend too to the upside is a strong break above this orange level right here. I'm going to map this out for you guys. 42.38 on GC. If you're looking at XAU USD, that's going to be right over here around this 42.21. So we break 42.21 again. That helps give strength to say, hey, we were creating lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Now we break this high. Now we're making a higher high. We pull back, higher low. We already started to create the higher lows on this trend. So that's giving me a little bit of confidence again to say, instead of selling these rips, look for a pullback and buy the dip. We always want to be trading with the trend, and that's what we're going to continue to do. Market is a great use of that. You can see any breaking news. Qatar Foreign Ministry spokesperson, we demand that Iran immediately cease all practices that undermine regional security or threaten the safety of international navigation. Okay, nothing major right now. This is not something that's going to make or break the trading, the charts, anything. So that's gold. A little bit of a rundown on gold right there. I do want to mark out our open price today, which is going to be 6 p.m. Eastern for gold futures, which is right there. Something I like to use with that open price is to see where we are in relation to it. And guys, look at how dead in the middle we are. This is our previous day high up here. This is our previous day low down here. We already took out previous day low. We already took out this internal high. Now we could look for that pullback, like I mentioned, to go long somewhere. Now we could really start breaking it down into some lower time frames and even use a volume profile too. So let's delete some of these levels, some of those drawings, I should say. And let's use our volume profile tool. We're going to say, okay, 6 p.m. We want to look at our daily. Look how cool this is, guys. We don't need market up everywhere. We just need our integration, and it'll give us those notifications in the bottom right. Very cool. W's in the chat for that. So look at this area of low volume, or we have this whole lot right here is all low volume in there, right? So something I'd be interested in looking for on gold is to see how do we want to react. There's a fair value gap area along with a low volume shelf right here, a bit of an extreme. So this is an area that I would consider looking for a long on gold. Really want to see that volume pick up though. Right now, our value area high and low, so that's dictated within the 70% of the volume being traded. So right now in our volume profile, we see this large amount of volume. We see this small amount of volume. So 70% of the volume traded so far on today's candle for gold has been within the range of 4160 and 4132. So what can we look for? We could look for volume to start to pick up here. So our 4159 or 4160 area, our value area high, starts to move higher with price. When that moves higher with price, that will help confirm this entry of 4165, which it looks like price is already trying to pull back to. So this might be a pretty nice setup looking for on gold. Higher high, higher lows, everything's running in line. So we already have nice structure there and a very clean breakdown. Guys, if you have any questions, you want me to cover anything again, please let me know. If anything doesn't make sense, happy to cover it in another way for you. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ. Let's get into NQ, especially seeing that SpaceX is going to be introduced into the NASDAQ today, which again means forced buying for a lot of institutions. Yo, Ozzy, good morning, brother. Good morning. So yeah, for now, skipping out on those gold shorts. I know somebody asked about gold shorts. It could pull back, right? We see we're already pulling back. I'd be a bit more interested in taking the longs off the pullback, though. Would not really be jumping the gun on anything else. NASDAQ weighs AI chip shock and Hormuz tensions against dovish Fed, right? So I mentioned earlier the Fed's taking not a shift. We're not shifting to rate cuts yet. I know some people might disagree, but we're just not there yet, right? Our interest rate probabilities are still sitting pretty low. The reports haven't come back in line yet to support rate cuts again. Things can change, right? All it takes is one strong month of economic data to really shift the Fed. Possibly starting to see that creep in. We know markets are always forward looking, so that's why I believe gold is going to start the rally a bit stronger than equities will. But equities, as we see here on NASDAQ, have already seen that optimism and are trying to move higher. So let's take a quick look at NQ here and see how markets are moving, find some price levels, and set you guys up for success today. So to get started, we're going to look at NASDAQ on our market terminal. And we see that what is supporting our bullish bias today on NQ. Fed Chair Warsh's signals limited inflation risk and steady rates. So this again, this is sort of that gateway. They can't just go from, oh, we're going to get a rate hike, possibly two, to, okay, we're cutting. Never mind, we're cutting. No, it has to take steps, right? So it has to go, we're getting possibly two rate hikes to, okay, well, we're probably going to get at least one rate hike to then, okay, the Fed can hold steady now. Right? So you see that slow shift. It's not just going to be bang overnight. So we're starting to see that slow shift. That's why economic data is so important too, because they're watching the same reports that we're seeing here on market, and they're taking that information and applying it to whatever they're breaking down. Cooling U.S. labor indicators reduce wage pressure and rate hike fears. So again, cooling U.S. labor indicators reduce wage pressure and rate hike fears. So again, it cools the rate hike fears. Things are cooling down, not just dropping out of nowhere, but they're starting to calm down. Crew being evacuated from Qatari long-range LNG tanker hit near Strait of Hormuz. This was that headline that we saw earlier, but we know that it's not the biggest of impacts. Morning, guys. Good morning. Rotation into U.S. megacap AI after Asian chip repricing. Institutional investors seek perceived higher quality U.S. AI and cloud exposure as Asian semiconductor optimism is reassessed. Morning, Fire. What's going on, brother? Resilient U.S. services activity sustains earnings outlook for growth stocks. So growth stocks doesn't really go on tech too much. It goes more so on the Dow, which I know there is a Dow trader. A few of you guys in here, if you do want to cover the Dow, please let me know. Any specific tickers, anything Forex futures you guys want me to cover, drop it in the comments. Let me know, what are you trading today and how's your week going so far? We all saw that price action yesterday. This garbage price action we had. So hopefully today we get some more follow through. Let's mark out on NASDAQ here our previous day high, previous day low. Make sure we have everything in line. Previous day low, previous day high, our open price today right over here. So we're already below the open. We see prices extremely choppy. Now, I've been saying that, and in my opinion, this big shift right here, this was our candle that said NFP is out. We have a very high chance of a rate hike. This is that candle, a 5% drop in one day. Guess what? We're going to take that and say this could be a catalyst. I tell you guys all the time, markets cannot reverse out of nowhere. Markets need a catalyst. So that catalyst being a Fed hike, that's going to give us a catalyst. An 8% drop on the NASDAQ in a matter of 6 days, 4 bars. That's 4 trading days, 6 days right there. 8% drop. That is a shock to the market. Since then, we created this low. Again, market structure, lower low. We came back, we created a lower high. We created this supply zone right here, which we then rejected on, this was Tuesday the 30th, moved again lower from there. So now the question becomes, price is getting smaller in this range, lower high, lower high, lower high, but we haven't taken out that lower low again. Once we start shifting, once we start seeing a strong break below recent lower lows, we're going to see a lot more aggressive selling, because that calls for panic selling. When panic selling hits the markets, volume goes crazy. People are calling their brokers, I got to get out of this. This isn't good, blah, blah, blah. Great, buying the dip. Yeah, buy the, yep, exactly. Famous gets it. Melvin's asking, any views on XAU USD? So I did just cover gold before. I covered it as GC, but I also gave the levels for XAU USD. If you want to rewind like 10 minutes, or if you want to give me a few minutes, I will cover it again very briefly. It's about 8:42 right now. We did get that international, what was it? Trade deficit. And obviously, it did not impact the market. Yeah, higher than expected. And we know higher than expected is usually bearish on the S&P and NASDAQ, but we also know that this is not the biggest of impacts. I do want to just mark this out. This is a higher low, lower low. And the reason I want to mark this level out, you guys get it? You guys get it? We take this low out, we're smooth sailing to the downside. We're dropping like we're hot. I could delete this level, is no longer a previous month low. And we could also take a look, now that we are looking for a possible shift, look at the weekly time frame, right? Don't be so caught up. Even the daily sometimes is too high of a time frame to see a trend, because if we're stuck in a range like we see right now, a weekly might give us a bit more insight. Even a monthly could give us some insight. So look, the monthly finally starting to see some consolidation. Our reversal candle up here had the most volume we've had since all the way of April 2025, which is, we know, when we turned around and reversed. So with that being said, yeah, this could be the area that price starts to create a rounding top, pull back. Even if we pull back to the 26,700s, right? That's about a 4,000 point drop on the NASDAQ. Does that mean we're in a bear market? Yeah, it means we're in a bit more of a bear market if that starts to happen. Does that mean markets are crashing and we're going to zero? Absolutely not, right? When in doubt, zoom out. We'd have to crush down to like 15,000. You know, that'd be insane. That would be lovely. Who wouldn't like that, right? Imagine that would be a buying opportunity of a lifetime right there. But we're looking at a weekly right now. We're day traders, so we're usually looking at a 5 and 15 minute. But it is important to look at the overall and the higher time frame as well. Let me delete these out real quick. Very good, guys. Great breakdown so far. Is it because of AI tech sell-off? Yeah, exactly. Why has NQ been faking post-New York session? Huge reversal has been caught on the wrong side in the past 3 weeks. Let's see. So what do you mean by that? You mean huge reversal has been caught on the wrong. What do you mean by a huge reversal caught on the wrong side? Like we move higher than reverse, or we move lower than we reverse? Because what we have been seeing lately is really a mix of both, where we get these big pumps. Like look at this right here, guys. They say markets don't go straight up or down. What's this? What's this? Well, no, we know that this, well, I know, you guys should know because I'm here with you every day. This was Micron. Micron earnings right here. Took NASDAQ up 2%. Huge pump. Markets open the next day, 3% to the downside. Sellers said, we do not care. At this point, look at this, by the way. This range, check this out. This big range we had, we're still in it. We're still in it. We try to break out to the upside. We failed back lower. Again, I'm leaning a bit bearish on equities until we get a much more firm stance on where the Fed is staying. And because Kevin Warsh is not giving us forward guidance, we have to keep an eye on things like FOMC minutes, which I do believe comes out this Wednesday at 2 p.m. Now, it's not the actual meeting, but it's the minutes. It's what they went over the last meeting, and they can make changes to it. So we will keep a very close eye on that. If I send you, My previous trades, could you help me find? Yeah, bro, Taz, of course, man. Guys, if anybody has questions, you want to review any trades, tell you guys all the time too. I'm a trader. I do these shows with you guys, but I'm also a mentor. I love helping traders take it to that next level, to take it from that uncertainty, no structure, just jumping in the market, trying to figure things out, to hey, let's build a plan you could follow every day. Routine builds consistency. So what are we at? We're at NASDAQ levels I'm watching on NQ right now. We'll run through the supply demand real quick. I'm a supply and demand trader. The supply zone we were looking for on NQ was 30,196, and we were about 100 points off from there yesterday. We're currently pulling back. Demand is 29,488 over here, which is near key psych level 29,500, right? We know those 500 key levels are very important and very helpful. So guess what? We're going to be keeping an eye on this level to see, do buyers want to step in here? Now, something else we have to be keeping an eye on when it comes to trading equities is the VIX. And I will get back to gold in just a moment. I know a lot of you, I think one of you at least was waiting for me to cover gold one more time. So looking at the VIX, VIX is actually at a very strong point right now. We can map this out here on the VIX. Very important to map out key levels on the VIX, right? Look at this. Every time price comes into this area, it rejects higher, rejects higher, rejects higher, rejects higher. So if the VIX can also move higher here, if the VIX moves higher, we look for the inverse of the S&P and NASDAQ. So that would help support my original bearish bias on NQ. Now, because of the inclusion we also have with SpaceX, there's really a lot weighing on selling pressure on the NASDAQ right now. A lot of people wanting to exit their positions. Let's see. So that's the VIX. We went over some NASDAQ. We could check gold one more time real quick for you guys. And I'll actually, yeah, so we were waiting for a pullback to this 41.66 on GC. We'll look at XAU USD for you guys. I know a lot of XAU traders over here. And that's going to be similar setup, right? We take our anchored volume profile tool. Now, usually we put it to 6 p.m. Eastern. And we will look at that 6 p.m. Eastern for Forex as well. That begins the daily candle for today for futures and Forex, because that's considered the new daily candle. When markets close at 5 p.m. Eastern for futures, they reopen at 6 p.m. the same day, but that same day is now considered the following. It rolls over. Yeah, I got you. GBP USD, not GDP USD. If you guys have been here for a while, you know I messed that up once, and they didn't let me go. So look at this, guys. XAU USD, similar areas, similar situation. Looking for a pullback near over here, or even to down over here. But ideally, would like to see some of these low volume areas. This was the area we had on GC. So can we pull back? We even could throw our fib tool up here from the beginning of this trend to the top of the trend. And what do we have? We have our 61 to 78, our OTE, our optimal trade entry over here. So this would be a pretty nice area for XAU USD GC longs. So possible longs here, target new high, because we're just following the trend. We'll see. We could always add an alert and wait. Usually the best thing we can do is add an alert so that if we're looking at another asset, we're not jumping back and forth. We're not sweating. We're not looking all over the place. Let's see. Had gold sells from 72, secure partials and break even few for net. Nice. Good job. Good job, Malvin. There we go. What had you short? Guys, I also want you guys to put your trade plans in the comments. Put your trade plans in the comments. Hold yourself extra accountable and create trade plans. Don't just jump on a stream, whether it's us with Market in the Morning or Capital Hungry or anywhere else, and just expect to take somebody else's call outs and be a consistent, profitable trader. You want to join, learn, but be your own trader and let their confirmations, let their trades help either confirm or even deny a trade setup that you're looking at. And if you don't agree and you're like, well, what do you mean go short here? I want to go long here because A, B, and C. Then listen, follow your own analysis. And if you're wrong, you take a loss. That's it. David Short, 4,200 XAU USD. Nice. Okay, 4,200, way up here. Way up here. Would be great to see price come back. This is a great level. Great call out, David, here on Twitter. Look at price's reaction. 3 times price has failed to move above this zone. 1, 2, 3. So now not only, and again, W's to David over there on Twitter, guys. Any comments, any questions, please drop it. Any comments. If you spectate something, if you're like, well, Kevin, what about this level? Call it out in the comments, man. We're a community here. We're building together. So listen, if we don't get this pullback entry on GC, then yeah, the next area we're watching is going to be that 4,200 key psych level, man. Who doesn't love a good 420? I mean 4,200. So what are we looking for? Possible rejection back to the bottom of this range. I really wouldn't look for a huge pullback from there because the fundamentals are now bullish. Or we could look for a strong break above a retest and a hold, right? So again, we'd be looking for market structure to start to shift. But remember, guys, we want to be realistic with the market. How does our daily time frame look right now on gold? Yeah, you know what? Daily time frame, it does look realistic. We break above that purple zone, we head towards that orange level, 42.21. Then it looks like, hey, this is looking like a very strong bullish day. I mentioned before when we first covered gold, we swept our previous day low already. I would want to see that strength back to the upside, sweep that previous day high. You see previous day low is right here. Mark that out white, text white, go previous day low. Then we'll copy and we'll paste that and put it up here and we'll change the text. Previous day high, perfect. Praying for gold to continue. Yeah, gold will look good. Gold will look good. Gold does look good on the buys. Be careful if you are taking it short. Remember too, if you're going short and you zoom out and you see that the past, let's see, the past 12 days have been a bit more bullish, don't count a trend trade, right? Follow the general direction, follow the trend. And remember, sizing is always important. Sizing is so important. You could take a loss, you could take another loss, and then on that third trade, have a winner and make all those losses back and then some. So very important. Yeah. Hey, how are you, Elisa? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome. Let's check out. I know somebody was asking for GBP USD, so we'll check that out real quick. And again, what's great with market is I don't trade Forex. I don't trade GBP USD, but technical analysis goes a long way in every index and everything you trade and anything with the chart, really. And then the fundamentals we get from market is going to give me that insight and give you guys that confidence you need to say, yes, this is the general trend, or no, I'm going to be looking for a pullback or reversal. So let's find our GBP USD. There she is right over here. And what are we seeing? Slightly bullish on the day trading, slightly bullish on the swing trading. Click both of them, make sure everything lines up okay. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. Looks like we swept some lows. We reversed back higher. We see this recent pivot at 1.34641 right over here on GBP USD. And that's right near that 135. So let's take a look. Wow, look at that, 13461. What I just say, guys, the technicals go a long way in everything you mark, anything with a chart and volume. We found those technicals, same technicals on market, same price levels here when we mark it out ourselves. This is a very strong area. I would even extend this a little lower, seeing that we reacted right here. And that's 134. So I would be looking, I would be looking to see if GBP can hold its recent low and try to make its way towards those highs again. Now, if you're already holding, I think been holding GBP USD since last week Thursday. Okay, so let's see. Last Thursday, where are we? Oh, no way. Did it homie get? I hope you were able to get in somewhere down here, not up here, because it's crazy, man. Timing in the market is so important because that will be the difference between being up. What is that? Being up 94 pips versus being up 26, right? Because that same Thursday, we were down all the way at 133. We were up all the way at 133.6. So huge difference in that. And it had that major, massive pivot. If you're still holding, what are we doing, right? We're making sure higher high, higher low, higher high. Is this our new higher low? Will this create a higher low? Will we go break these higher highs again? If we break these higher highs again, then that does confirm this now becomes your stop loss. At this point, though, if you are still holding GBP USD, I would consider this as your stop loss for now, especially if you did get in somewhere below that price. 133.287 stop loss. That's a recent higher low. 132.9. Yo, let's go, bro. Let's throw some W's in there. Guys, homies here in the comments. Who was that? That was ABMSG. Very cool name. What's your name, brother? Good work on that. Great entry, good hold, good work, good managing your trade. Did you take any profit off the table? Are you starting to size down a bit? Really great run there. Hey, Abdullah, good morning. Good morning. I'm looking for gold. Yeah, gold. I know. Gold's been really the go-to lately. We were waiting for a pullback near 41.66 on GC. XAU USD, we were looking for 41.50. Yo, great. Yeah, 4100 would be nice all the way down over here. And longs would still be valid. So that's what Abdul, good morning, Abdul. Good to meet you guys. Guys, drop your names and drop where you're from. I'd love to formally meet you guys. It's good to know who I'm chatting with. All right. So gold is looking good. NASDAQ's looking good. Oil's looking good. ES is looking good. Guys, we're looking good, feeling good. We can take a look at silver. I know a lot of silver traders in there as well. So drop your names, drop where you're from, and drop what you're trading today. If you guys want me to cover anything, I'm always happy to cover things. You know what? Let's actually look at SpaceX one more time, because SpaceX is being included into the NASDAQ today. I know I mentioned that before, but something else to mention on it. It's got a massive market cap, right? So right now, SpaceX's market cap is $2.1 trillion. To put that in perspective, SpaceX, I got the Knicks colors going. That's funny. Let's get rid of that. There we go. SpaceX is a $2.1 trillion market cap. Amazon, which has been around for 30 years, which has proved itself, which has hundreds of billions of dollars of revenue every year, is 2.8. So you're telling me these companies are neck and neck, while company A, SpaceX, has proven zero consistent revenue because the AI is taking more revenue than they have profits. And Amazon, which has, again, hundreds of billions of dollars of revenue annually, annual returns, revenue is huge, is only at 2.8. That tells me one of two things. We are either overvalued on SpaceX by a lot, which I'm still looking for SpaceX to return to $100 a share, or Amazon is very undervalued. Now, unfortunately, Amazon has been at that point for a long time. Hey, from Sydney, that's very cool. Very cool. You trade GC, MGC, nice. Good to trade on the micros, especially in volatile markets. USD JPY, oh yeah, I got you, Mr. Random, for sure, for sure. Sean from South Africa, NQ Dow and XAU USD. Nice. Dow looks great for longs, waiting for open. Hey, appreciate you. Appreciate you. Seek, I did cover some XAU USD a few times. If you want to hit the little, you could even, if you're on computer, you could hit the back button and it'll rewind it a bit. I'd say rewind maybe 5 to 10 minutes and you'll see, or even click and hold the scroll through and you'll see XAU USD on my chart. You know what's cool, guys, and what I should do for you guys, because I'm always thinking of you guys. Let's put up settings, canvas, and let's put a watermark for our ticker on the chart. Look at that. Now you guys could see a bit easier the chart that I'm looking at. So that will be helpful for you guys. That way also you could scroll through and find it a lot easier. So let's take a look at our, what did we say? We're going to look at USD JPY real quick for Mr. Random in the chat. USD JPY, I'm sure there she is right on the watch list. We've covered it before. We've covered these charts before. Did you buy Adele? No, I didn't buy Adele. I wish I did, man. Trump pumping it again. We'll cover that too in just a moment. Euro and CAD? Yeah, let me know. Euro CAD, I got you. Give me one moment. We'll cover a little USD JPY, cover some CAD. Jaquanta, you're going to have to wait a little bit. I covered gold a couple times now. We will recover it one more time soon. Let's cover USD JPY holding your multi-decade highs as yield gap offsets Bank of Japan hawkishness. Slightly bullish. We see possible scenarios, and you can even turn scenarios off. but then that gets rid of your extra support and resistance. So I would definitely be keeping that on. Looking for sells. Okay, we'll see. Yen remains preferred funding currency for global carry trades. This is something Nalab also mentioned in the last stream, is that yen is the cheapest. Yen is the go-to for that global trade right now. Fed hawkish pause keeps US-Japan rate differential wide. Dollar sets the strongest month in nearly a year. Yeah, volatile markets protect your capital. That's it. It's just as important to know when to trade as it's important to know when not to trade. Let's see. Kevin Warsh's hawkish Fed leadership supports strong dollar carry. Fed officials stress upside inflation risks and rate hike probabilities. I'm not seeing too much on the bear side for this USD JPY. But let's take a look at the daily time frame. It said multi-decade. Oh yeah, well, you know what? Us being at these extreme highs alone is, I don't want to say enough of a reason to go short. You never want to look at a chart and go, oh wow, that's bearish because A, B, and C. No, we should have a real reason for it. Let's extend this to the right. We should have a real reason. Is there a different fundamental change going on? Or am I just shorting it because I think markets can't go any higher than this? That mindset that, oh, markets can't go any higher, markets can't go any lower. That's when people try to catch a falling knife. That's when people try to take counter trend trades and get stopped out when they really should be following the trend. So for USD JPY, I would be very careful. This zone was an area that price reacted to as sellers. We squeezed through it. We broke it. We even broke it again over here. So in my opinion, markets are not giving this area any type of recognition. So I would really want to see, how do we hold in this zone, right? Do we hold it like we're seeing right now and break this recent high, 162.08? If we do get back above 162.08, I would want to see us hit 162.45 and then 162.58. So I'd still be a bit more bullish on the USD JPY at the moment. But on the flip side of that, if we do start to break this recent low, then guess what? We could possibly be creating, this was a higher high, now a lower high. We break. What would really have to happen, though, to confirm the shorts are in control of USD JPY again, is we would have to come take out this low of 160.48, which is a long ways to go. So might even be one of those days where you don't take a trade on USD JPY unless you're just following the general trend, which is, again, usually our go-to. We want to follow the trend, as the trend is our friend until the end of the trend. GBP, yeah, we covered GBP. Shout out to Costa Rica. There we go. We'll see about the sells here for GBP. I think if we do break below 161.65, this recent pivot right here, we would have to break it and close below it with some strength. As we see right now, whenever we enter this little area, this range, what happens? Sellers step in, buyers buy it back up, buyers buy it back up, buyers buy it back up. So you wouldn't want to short at lows knowing that buyers have been buying the lows. So that's my 2 cents on GBP USD today, guys. Nasty wick on gold. Let's take a look at gold again. I know we're waiting for some people. XAU USD. Guys, Jeev should be joining us very shortly. Let's see. Yeah, look at that. Bit of a rejection off those highs. We can now adjust our optimal trade entry because now our high is even higher. And look at how much more fitting that is now. This zone that we had marked out earlier now lines up almost perfectly with that 61% to the 78%, which again is our optimal trade entry, our OTE area. So I'd like to see some support down here. Take some longs on gold, targeting the highs we were just at. Matter of being patient. Time in the market versus time in the markets. That's it, man. That's it. Time in the markets will give you more confidence in the strategy that you trade as long as you've been consistently trading that same strategy. And timing the markets will help you with your entries. I know somebody mentioned Dow, so we'll look at YM is the Dow futures. And we'll take a quick look and say, okay, wow, look at that, man. Dow is printing all-time highs. Bit of a strong situation here where we want to be following that trend. Previous day high, previous day low. We're already above previous day high. We're already above our opening price. I would definitely be a bit more bullish on the Dow. But I will say I'm going to add an alert here on the Dow because I want to know if the Dow reverses back into that range with strength, that's going to have a strong pull and impact on the S&P. It's not going to have a strong impact on the NASDAQ. NASDAQ is the tech index. It's doing its own thing. The Dow is the growth index, right? More of a growth index. So we want to be careful and say, okay, if Dow could start selling off and moves lower and lower and lower, is NASDAQ moving lower? And if they both are, that helps us with aggressive shorts on the S&P 500. But let's take a look at our 30-minute time frame here. Beautiful. Look at this, man. This right here is usually a trade setup that I like to look for. This is a 30-minute demand or 30-minute order block, whatever strategy you like to trade. It's an area of interest, right? This is the last area of consolidation before price moved higher and made a higher high. So what do we like to look for? Higher high, higher low, higher high, pull back, hold that low and create a higher low. And then we go right back to those higher highs again. So right now, after everything we've been looking at, it looks like the Dow is giving us one of the better of setups right now. So we'll mark that out. We'll keep that there. We will keep a very close eye on what's going on. All right, so Dow looks good. I'll even add, it's funny, you know what? I'll move my alert up to here so that Dow will tell me when this is triggered, because I would be interested in taking some longs on the Dow. That's how good this setup is looking right now, especially compared to things like the ES, which has been trying to chop through this resistance but struggling. The NASDAQ, which is clearly showing some divergence from the ES, but NASDAQ also trying to find support around that 29,500. Yeah, I got you for sure, bro. Can you go back on gold? Do you think we break 42? What are you looking at, homie? GC or XAU USD? Because GC is pretty close to 4,200. XAU USD. Let's see. You know what I'll do too? I'll add that to my watch list. Add to watch list, and we'll drag it above. There we go. So that I can just go like this. Boop, boop. Just back and forth real quick. Look at that. Gold's pulling back near that area right now. Oh, and you know what? It's doing what I mentioned. You guys remember our value area high, this dotted line right here. This was all the way down at 41.59. I said I want to see price move higher and volume move higher and have our value area high move higher. And that's exactly what it's doing. So we're just coming back to that range. This could be a possible long entry on GC or XAU USD as well. It does look like I have a bit of a different spot on XAU USD and GC. XAU USD, GC I had over here. XAU USD I have down here. Just want to double check on that real quick. Yeah, I mean, both are pretty valid. Volume profile wise are showing the same areas. So what are we going to do anyways? We're waiting for a reaction. We're looking at a 30-minute time frame right now. We know that we're usually trading on a 5-minute, 15-minute. So when we come down here, we're going to wait for a 5-minute reaction. Does it create some type of candle where we have our small body, longer lower wick, showing that buyers stepped in down on the bottom of the wick, and then we could take it long, stop near the low, and take it towards that new high again? That would be one of the setups I'm looking for on XAU USD today and GC as well. So GC, XAU USD, we're looking to buy the dip, just really waiting for a reaction to some of these zones to the downside. We are coming into this low volume area. You see this little guy right here? And we have held this before to new highs, but the way that these candles are forming, right, it's always important to get the information that we're seeing right now. We had a very strong move to the downside. I'm not just randomly jumping in along here because it helped before. I'm waiting for a candle to close. I'm waiting for the reaction, the confirmation, some follow through, whatever the case may be. So guys, that's GC, that's XAU USD. What do I personally trade? I trade my time. No, I'm just kidding. I trade futures myself, ES, NQ, GC, but same as you, right? Got to drop down to some micros when we see this aggressive volume. So ES, we could take a quick look at ES. Let's find some levels on ES. We didn't find anything on there yet. Let's also real quick look at our market terminal and make sure that we're not missing anything bias-wise. So what's supporting ES on a slightly bullish bias? Trump, Putin, Ukraine peace outreach lowers conflict and energy risk. We always want to keep a bit of an eye when it comes to energy, when it comes to trading the S&P and NASDAQ. At lower energy can lead to higher tech returns, which is a good thing for investors. Because think of it this way, big tech, they have to pay for energy, whether it's AI, whether it's shipping, anything. They pay for energy, they pay for oil, they pay for everything. So if it's cheaper energy, that's a higher ROI. What about options? No, I don't trade options. I used to way back when I first got started trading. I found a lot more consistency and profitability trading futures. It was a lot easier to gauge that risk, know that, okay, if I take this trade with 5 micros, my max loss on this is $150. And unless Trump comes out and tweets something, or there's a big news, an economic data event that comes out that I wasn't aware of, that's your max risk. Options, it's a little difficult. Let's say you're in an options contract, an SPX options contract. It's $1.50 per contract, which would equal to $150 for that contract because it goes by 100 shares. So if it says 1.50, it would be $150. And you put your stop loss at $90. So you only want to risk 60. Well, if you only want to risk 60, you put your stop loss in place and we get a huge headline or we get one of those volatility spikes. We could run right through your stop loss, not fill because it's an options contract. Futures would also run through too, but you could lose that max loss. You could lose that full 150 instead of the original 60 you wanted to risk. So you do have to be a little extra careful when it comes to options, but I do suppose the same goes for futures too, except that it's not driven by some of the other Greeks. So options have things called Greeks. That's gamma, theta, delta, vega. All those that I just mentioned impacts how the option is priced. If price moves higher and it has a delta of 0.40, that's a $40 delta, then every $1 move will be a $40 move in your favor or against you. So if you got an SPX at 74, let's say 7,600, and it moves to 7,601, your contract's up $40. It moves down to 75.99, it moves down $40. Then comes in for the idea of, okay, what about theta? What about vega? What about these other option derivatives? Okay, well, guess what? Now that we have all these other option Greeks, I should say, now that we moved up $1 in my favor, my next delta I have for the next dollar move is $45. It moved up 0.05. So it's more in your favor. So options can lead to some really great ROIs, but it really is about timing the market, right? We always want to talk about timing the market. Let's see. Any headlines, any high impacts over the past couple hours? Let's see. Kevin, on your Market AI dashboard, what are your fundamental news or geopolitical events that might support XAUUSD to get to 4.2K or possibly break above it? Good question. So we could look at GC or we could look at XAUUSD because check this out. They're going to give you the same bias. They're the same trade. So price target levels 4,200 on XAUUSD. How great is that? Let's take a quick look, see where we're at, see if we've pulled back yet. Oh man, came into that area and we held. That's fine. We're staying out of it. I'm waiting for this zone. It's my area or nothing. Guys, when you come up with your trade plans in the morning, you do your scenarios, it's your plans or nothing. You do not trade in the middle of nowhere. You got to have good discipline. Crew being evacuated. We saw that. Happy full margin Tuesday, everyone. Yeah, man. Full port. Yesterday's price action was garbage. Today better have some follow through. Venezuela triggers emergency response. This was 4 days ago. Look at this, guys. Our high impact has been very light. There has not been any big high impact headlines lately, which is a good thing. Good thing and bad thing, depending on which side of the coin you're looking at. Gold supported as oil retreats. So this is something we went over. You know, gold is pushing back higher with oil staying back lower. Let's see where oil is right now. Now, where's oil in relation to previous day? So oil is above its previous day high. We'll mark it out. Previous day high, previous day low. Bit of a same situation where if oil is able to break back within its previous day's range, can even look to see if oil breaks below 68.88, we could look for a short position targeting that next low that we were at, that previous day's low, and trade that direction on oil. We stay above that level, then unfortunately, yeah, it looks like we're going to be holding, and oil might be seeing a bit of a rebound. This is something that Imre mentioned a couple episodes ago on Market in the Morning, that he's expecting the next big move on oil to be to the upside because of the supply chain issue. Options, yeah, man, options can scare a lot of traders. That is for sure. XAU USD waiting for the pullback. Says the VIX. We're waiting to see how VIX wants to respond off the open. Dow continuing higher. Now, what's great, a lot of people will look at this and be like, oh, Dow didn't pull back to my entry. I got to chase it all the way up here. But do you really want to buy at an all-time high? No, you want to buy a pullback and target the new all-time high. So let it continue its trend. So before, our price target was right here if we pulled back from that point. Now our price target becomes up here. So let it move higher as it's giving us a better take profit. That's a great thing. Yo, guys, if you're here, man, you're enjoying the show, you're learning something, smash that like button. We always like to shoot for 50 likes per stream. I'm pretty sure we should be past that by now. I feel like this has been a killer market in the morning. I do apologize for G's lateness. Tardiness, do we call it? But listen, man, he's a busy dude. It happens. Hopefully he does join soon. That would be great. If not, we still got a great show going. SpaceX, we could take a quick look at as well, has been trading within 150 to 170 for a little while. I mentioned that I wanted to see SpaceX move towards 200 before finally reversing back lower to 150 to even 100. I feel like that would be a massive pain scale right there. A lot of traders were buying highs of SpaceX, even buying over here. It IPO'd over here, and people are like, oh, wow, SpaceX to the moon. I'm buying it. I'm buying it. All these people, and we could use our measurement tool, all the billions of dollars of volume that was pumped into SpaceX, all of this, 1.42 million. Let's see, daily time frame. Pretty sure it was billions, so we'll see. Yeah, $1.57 billion of volume into SpaceX. Those people are underwater. Those people are in a losing position. They're given an chance right now, and they're given an opportunity to say, do I want to cut my loss? Do I want to sell my position down here for a loss? Do I want to hedge my position and say, okay, well, I'm long. I bought SpaceX stock right here, but price is moving lower. Let me hedge it by buying some SpaceX puts, selling some options on it, maybe even selling calls on it, whatever the case may be, to go against the trend that you want to be in, right? So if you're long exposure, you bought it, you want to figure out some type of way to short it to go against your longs because your longs are no longer working. And that would be for anything. What is your favorite element on market? Great question right there. And guys, any other questions, please let me know. I'm always happy to go over anything you guys want to cover. I even forgot that G was. Hey, bro, I appreciate that, man. I even forgot that G was supposed to be here today. You're doing a great job, bro. I'm happy to hear that, man. I love doing these streams. I've hosted to many, many channels and many other platforms before, Benzinga being one of the biggest ones, and it's just always a good response from the audience. People always enjoy it. There's always something more to learn, right? In trading, whether you have 4 months into trading or 10 years into trading, every day you're coming in and you're learning something. Every day you're coming in and you're trying to get 1% better. You're not coming in and losing and walking away, which is a good thing. You do want to be able to take a loss and walk away, but you want to take that loss as a lesson. What did you learn from that loss? Did you manage your trade properly? Did you follow your trade rules? Did you follow your stop loss? Did you move your stop loss? Anything. So let's see. What are your thoughts on NASDAQ? Oh, I'm going to cover that in a moment. Piyush, I appreciate that. Let's see. I hope he has a late note, right? From the doctor. What's your favorite element of market? There's so many good ones, but what is your favorite? That's tough. That's tough. I would, bro, all of them are amazing. I mean, that's a really hard one. So, in my opinion, economic calendar, untouchable, untouchable by anybody out there who could even dream of creating an economic calendar. Like, this is by far phenomenal. Even if somebody copies it, it's just not going to be the same. Everything that market has going on the back end, the way that they set things up. Here we go. Core CPI Tuesday over here. Let's look at, here we go. Hit the brain icon. The way that market has its playbook. Yeah, Seb, that's exactly what I was going to say. The minimum and maximum ranges are freaking goated. Goated. So, like, let's say, for example, we're looking at core CPI down here. Minimum 2.8%, maximum 2.9%. They're giving it a really tight range. I don't know if you guys remember. Last month, core CPI, they gave it a range of like, oh my God, it was nuts. It was like, it's like 2.4% to 3.2%. They gave it a really wide range. Now they're minimizing the range. But the point of using this minimum and maximum range is to look and see, how does it come out? If we come out this day and we're above, let's see, ES, we're above 2.9, we're at 3%. Guess what? That's not only going to give us a bearish reaction, that's going to give us a bearish trend. That's going to give us a huge move that day. And now we could take advantage of knowing when we're going to get a trend before the trend even happens, because we're not only using economic data, but we're using market to give us the insight and clarity of that trend, giving us that range, giving us that expectation. It even has our prediction market down here, right? So 47% chance it does fall to that 2.8%. So economic calendar, it's got to be one of the best tools. Backtest fundamentals is also, in my opinion, one of the most slept on tools out there. I've never seen anything like this, where you could just come over, click a candle, and it's going to break down exactly what happened, and even the relevant headlines within that time frame too. I mean, come on, guys, that's insane. What else? I love how it breaks down the economy. So it's very easy to look at economic data via a chart to see the trend of the economic data. That also gives you insight to how those reports will be coming out. What else, man? Interest rate tracker is pretty cool. COT report I don't use too often. Earnings, I would love to see a bit of an upgrade to this tab. This would be a phenomenal upgrade there. We used to have an equities tab, which Nalab, if you're watching, bro, we got to get that back. Let's see. Breaking news is doing well. Guys, run that like button up. I see we already hit 50. Let's hit 75 likes today on the stream. I appreciate you all for being here. Love all the support. Tons of engagement today. That is amazing. Tons of learning lots here. Only been trading 8 months. There you go, man. 8 months is a good start to your journey. You're in the right place. I wish I found a market in the morning when I started trading. If you're here, Kev, we're here, bro. Appreciate you guys. You guys are the best. Let's see. Why is price action on NAS and US 30 so weird? Is it due to FOMC? So it definitely depends on what you mean by so weird. So right now, obviously, we're seeing some choppy price action because New York session hasn't opened yet. It does open in 5 minutes. But so weird in the sense that, yeah, yesterday's price action was garbage. It just chopped higher, chopped lower. The day prior, Thursday, this wasn't the day prior, it was the week prior, we had a major sell-off. Really seeing volatility in these markets. I'd really want to see how we react to this 29,490 over here. If we don't hold it, then we don't hold it, and it is what it is. But we'll see. We'll see. 29,550 is another area. That's our pre-market low right here. It's always important to mark out those levels too. We are below our previous day low, so I don't want to be so quick to jump into longs randomly. I want to be patient for a reaction, and then I can take longs. Because guess what? If I'm looking for buyers down here, and I know that we're a bit more bearish, so the moment we test it, I don't take the trade, and then we move lower, and it would have stopped me out. I'm going to be happy with myself that I was waiting for the reaction. Whereas if we do hit it, and we reverse right away, and guess what? I'm able to take my trade a little higher. I'm able to wait for a retest. I'm able to wait for a fair value area. Whatever the case may be, we're able to be patient knowing that it's reacting off of our predetermined zone. If this zone wasn't here, I'm just taking random trades. That's not worth it. Volume profile. So here on TradingView, on the left-hand side where all your toolbar is, you're going to come over to this one is called forecast. And usually it has the long position shown. You're going to click the little arrow, come over to anchored volume profile. You could star it. What's cool with TradingView is you could star a bunch of the tools you use and keep it on your chart like this. You're going to use anchored volume profile. And I like to make a practice of putting it at 6 p.m. Eastern the previous day. That is the open of today's daily. So right now, volume profile giving us a bit more of a bearish volume profile as volume is leading more towards the downside. So I do want to be a little careful there. Small imbalance with the lack of volume up here, but we did chop lower. So it's really going to depend. Yeah, I got you guys, 100%. My settings on this, I have it where it's showing rows, number of rows, row size 100, volume is total, not up and down. Up and down will give you something like that. That doesn't give you the best of information, not really telling you buying or selling volume. Value area should be 70. That is standard for 70% of the volume. That's referring to this light blue area versus this dark blue area. And then if you want to grab a quick screenshot of that as well, this is my settings for the style on the anchored volume profile, value area high, value area low. I make those dotted so that I'm not confusing them with any other price levels I have. And width of box, that's just telling you how far out you want it to be. If you make it higher, it's going to make those areas longer. If you make it lower, it's going to make them a bit shorter. I like to keep it around 35, maybe even 40. That way it's a bit obvious when we get those low volume areas. Have you recently put anything into the suggestion box to have on market? Always. What'd I do? Oh yeah, yesterday we were going over the economic calendar and I mentioned how cool it would be if when you hit the brain icon, what's cool right now is if you hit the brain icon, you could hit the other brain icon somewhere else and it'll add a second tab. Yesterday we had a lab on and I mentioned how cool it would be that if you drag this out and let's say you make it far enough that it automatically separates it into two right next to each other. And when you close it, it makes it one. I thought that would be a pretty cool update. So we'll see if we can get that rolling. But yeah, man, let's keep it going. Markets open in a minute. So again, let me know any tickers you guys are looking at, what you guys are trading, and anything else in between. But very happy. Yeah, 1 minute to open. You got it, SJ. Floodgates about to open, bro. You got it, 100%. We'll keep an eye on. I'm a big fan of NASDAQ. You guys already know it. But it's going to be tough with that whole SpaceX situation. Guys, if you're here on YouTube, man, run that like button up. Make sure you're subscribed. We go live Monday through Friday for market in the morning. I love doing these streams with you guys, whether I have a co-host with me or a guest or I'm hosting it myself. I love doing market analysis. I love teaching people, bringing people to that next step in their trading. Guys, make sure to follow me on social media. On Instagram is at Trading with Kev. That should be like right over here too. Trading with Kev. I like to post daily market content, give you guys some insights, trading tips, trading insights, whatever the case may be. All right, there's that New York session open. Let's see. Getting a little bit of a lag here on my trading view. Look at that. There we go. Trading view, man, lacking today. I can't wait till market has live data. That's going to be insane. Waiting for down here, ES. Now, ES, I wouldn't be so quick to take shorts in the supply area because we've seen price reject it once for a great sell position. It tried to reject it again, but it failed. That tells me right here that these sellers that are active in this supply area are no longer relevant. They're no longer strong anymore. We even moved all the way up here. So we're trying to chop our way through this zone. I would not be so quick to grab shorts on ES. And again, if anything, that's helping support my long bias on NQ if we can come to this demand area to the downside. Man, you guys are amazing. What a great audience today. You guys are phenomenal. Let me know what you're trading, who you're trading, how you're trading. What are your thoughts on SpaceX today, guys? Do you think SpaceX is going to dump, pump, or do you think it's just going to give us a whole lot of nothing? In my opinion, I think we're going to get a bit of nothing. I think a lot of people are going into today thinking that it's going to make or break the market. I think we just stay range bound regardless. I'm more interested in seeing how do we react from here? How do we trade from here? And can we pull back on NASDAQ, have people think to jump in short off the open, and then reverse around like 945 to move on higher? That would be a nice little setup right there. So at this point, we wait, right? We wait, we be patient, we let markets come to us. The ES is at that resistance point. I would look for 7,600 on ES. I suggested we get volume change incorporated into the technicals. I personally like to watch volume change. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. I don't think we have access to any type of volume analysis like that on the market terminal. We could definitely put a request in there. And what's cool, guys, if you guys have any thoughts or any input for market, we have this button right down here. This little chat looking guy with a smiley. You click that. People are always watching this. Even Seb, we have great homies on the back end named Rita. Rita is amazing. He does all the thumbnails here for market in the morning. So make sure you run that like button. Guys, throw some W Rita, W-R-I-D-A. Rita is the GOAT. W Rita. The whole team, man. Whole team. It's a team effort. But drop a comment down here. You could say, I want to see some type of volume analysis or whatever specifics that you're looking for. Nick, Nick, you already know. Nick's the GOAT too, our affiliate homie. Man, that's it, guys. That's it. It's a team freaking effort. Nick always watching. Love to see it, man. Nick, man, you're invited to the show too. Everybody on the market team is always invited to the show, especially on the daily and higher time frames. Yeah, so yeah, that's something that we could definitely ask about, look into. Yeah, let's go, Nick. Yes, sir. ES rejecting. Now, I know I mentioned I wouldn't look for shorts right here, but on the flip side of that, this area was not broken yet. So I wouldn't look for longs off this area either. So what does that tell me? That I want to wait and see. I want to be patient here. I don't want to be the one to jump into a trade thinking, oh, we're rejecting supply. Let me go short here. And then I get stopped out and I go, oh, why'd I go short? I knew that we were trying to break it. Now let me go long over here and then get stopped out long because I shouldn't have went long into a supply. Be patient. Nobody's got a gun to your head saying you have to take a trade right now. If you don't have confidence in your setup, you don't take the setup. There we go, NASDAQ trying to sweep that 29,550. Yeah, 29,500 does have some passive buyers down there. Let's see. I'll start to try to position myself here with some micros on MNQ. Let's see. I'm not the biggest of fans of this zone, mainly because of the just because of the lack of follow through we've been seeing to the upside lately. You know, whenever buyers do step in, they've been struggling. So I don't want to jump in so quick. You know, when markets say jump, we don't want to say how high. We want to wait for confirmation that we're actually jumping with the market. Check XAU USD holding. Oh, good call. Let's see. XAU USD. Oh, we're range bound, man. Great example of if we're not at my zone, no trades. No, I'm not saying my zone personally. I'm saying your zone too. If we're not at your predetermined price level where you wanted to take a reaction off of, we're in a no trade zone. Go look at another asset. Go diddle on your phone. Whatever you got to do to not force trades. I do want to keep a closer eye on NASDAQ as that is much closer to that area of interest we were watching. If we dump right through that, no trade. What is the zone? So the zone I was looking for on XAU USD is down around 41.50. GC, we're looking at around 41.60, 41.70. Keep an eye on that. NASDAQ continuing lower. ES most likely pushing lower too off of that zone. Listen, man, we're rejecting supply. Kevin, why didn't you short it? I don't care. If I'm not in a trade, I'm not making money. I'm not losing money. I'm sitting on my hands. I'm being patient. Markets reward the patient. They take the money from the impatient and they give it to the patient. Guys, man, we got 100 of you on YouTube here. We better run that like button up. I want to see us hit 75 today. Yo, make my day, man. Let's hit 100 likes today. That would be phenomenal. NASDAQ trying to hold right above that demand zone. So listen, same thing. If we're trying to hold right before the zone, I'm not going long here thinking that, oh, there it is. No, my zone's down here. Why would I go long over here with my stop loss above that area? Bro, bars, did I rap? Did I rhyme something? Yo, you guys would have loved me way back in high school. I was always rhyming something. That's we can make a market in the morning and don't be snoring. Nah, that's horrible. Oil, what's oil doing? Trying to hold that zone still. XAU, USD is trying to move higher. We mentioned too, if we do not come back to this area, guess what? We have multiple trade plans and multiple trade scenarios for a reason. We had 4,200 as our target, but we also had it as an area we would want to see price move above and retest to go long. So regardless, again, that's what I'm looking for. If you see a better setup here where you're a breakout trader and you're like, nope, we're breaking higher, we have momentum, I want to go long here, stop at that recent low, you could do that too. If that's your trade setup, that's your strategy, go for it. That's not mine, so I'm going to stay out of it. NASDAQ, yo, NASDAQ wicked. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. This was about, okay, 17 points away, which doesn't sound like a little, but it is a little considering the moves we're having are 167 points wide. So really great stuff there. Guys, if you're here on Twitter, man, make sure you run that like button up, subscribe, share, follow, do a backflip, whatever you guys got to do. Enjoy yourselves, learn something. Love these streams with you guys. Let's take a quick run through our equities, see how equities are trading. Apple is coming off of all-time highs right now. This is not some, oh no, it's pretty close to all-time highs. Take up knitting, yeah. There you go. Let's add an alert here on Apple. Wonderful. So that way, if Apple does get to those all-time highs, we're notified. NVIDIA trying to dump right now. So NVIDIA, if it gets below this 189, guess what? All right, don't show again. Guess what? That's really helping on the short term. But if we break that 189 and reverse, that helps on the longs. Let's take a look. NASDAQ looks like it's pushing a little bit deeper here. It's trying, man. Again, this is one of the reasons we don't just randomly take long before our zone. When we're marking out our zones, we're marking out our levels in the pre-market. What we're doing is we're creating our pre-market analysis. When we find these levels, we find these setups, unless you have a very specific setup where it's like, okay, sweep the low, quick reversal, and you take it on the quick reversal. If you're just marking out zones, then you're waiting for those zones and the reaction to those zones. You're not just jumping in randomly. You're waiting for some type of confirmation at those levels. On gold, I missed the initial balance off of the lows, but got in at pre-New York. She is ripping up nicely. Nice. There we go, bro. There you go. Oh, look at this. Careful. Don't buy those highs. That's why I'm a big fan of waiting for a pullback. Let's see. VIX is doing a whole lot of nothing. NQ, did NQ hit the zone? Bro, yo, talk about a tease, man. Talk about a tease. 2 points. 2 points on NASDAQ there, man. We're staying patient, not jumping in up here. I'm still waiting for that area to hit. We sit on our hands. If I could teach you guys anything, it's how to be patient. We can take a look at SpaceX. SpaceX dumping, love to see it. Bye-bye, SpaceX. See you later. Tesla, don't really care so much. Tesla doesn't have the biggest of impacts on things like the NASDAQ. Google's another big one. I think I just got an alert on YM. Okay, here we go, Dow. Does the Dow want to give us a setup? MYM, let's see. Now, again, same situation where we're looking for a reaction. We're not just jumping in randomly. Let's see. Yeah, we'll see. We'll keep an eye on the Dow. NASDAQ was so close to that level, man. I do want to see, though, how the Dow reacts. As long as we don't break this 53,408, we're going to be looking for a long. But if it does dump through it, then guess what? We were patient. We did see that? This is why we're not jumping right through. Wait, bro, I don't know, man. Mr. Random. I know. Chief told me he'd be here. He's like, oh, I'll be there a little late. He's like, oh, maybe I'll be there a little closer to New York Open. But listen, man, we can't hold him to it. He's a busy guy. Things get in the way. We know it. That's all right. We've had a great stream so far. Great breakdowns, great analysis, great market coverage, great insights for you guys to follow and learn. NASDAQ. NASDAQ still trying to hold. Look at that. Oh man. Now if this was the case, if we did tap this demand zone and we closed green, then this would have been the trade setup that I looked for. Longs, once this candle closed, so on this new candle, I would be looking to target to the upside. But that didn't happen. We didn't hit the zone, so I'm still just going to be patient. Yeah. It looks like the Dow, I'm glad we didn't just jump in the Dow here, did break that zone. Be patient. And so now at this point, same thing. We broke that zone, we broke that low, but we haven't broken any major pivots. We're still coming off of new higher highs. I would still wait for the reaction here. I wouldn't really mark out the Dow shorts. I'm sorry, the Dow longs just yet. NQ, not jumping in longs. ES, trying to pull back to supply. I'm just not confident in the shorts. And if you're not confident, what did we say before? If you're not confident in something, you're not trading it. Guys, we just hit 67 likes. I appreciate you all. Let's keep running that up, man. I want to hit 80 likes today. You guys have been a phenomenal crowd. You guys are some great traders here. If you want any insights, any tips, any questions, please let me know. I'm always here to help you guys get that much better. Gold just teasing. She's about to rip. Oh, yeah. Look at that reaction. Pop. Reaction. Pop. Yeah. Now it does look like it is trying to hold. Does that mean I want to take it? Absolutely not. The Dow is trying to hold. So this is great. If the Dow can close green, we know that the Dow's got a lot more strength than something like the NASDAQ. So I'd look for us to close green somewhere over here. Possible retest on the next 5 minute. Take it long, targeting the new high of day and new all-time highs on the Dow. So very strong there. We'll keep an eye on that. Like I mentioned before, what's the VIX doing? VIX is trying to move lower, which we know is more bullish. NASDAQ trying to hold right above the demand zone at that value area low too. So a few things lining up there. Very good. Just hit TP on MGC. There we go. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Good work. Good job. There you go. Bang. Bang. Ah. You ever see that flight not emote. that flight reactions like a GIF or whatever. It's like ah. ES pulling back. NASDAQ is trying its best to hit that support zone. Let's see. Is that Mr. Jeeve? No, sir. All right, ladies and gents. You can open 3 screens on the Dow, NAS, and ES at the same time. Yeah, you could do that 100%. I don't want to get too much cluttered on the charts. We'll keep it sort of one at a time. But yeah, you could definitely do that if it makes it easier for you to read the charts. 100%. Kev, does that mean I want to take it? Absolutely. Bro, you know it, man. You know it. Gold could be like, yeah, we're going higher, psych. And just bring you right back. All right. We're going to be keeping an eye on the Dow here. I do like how it's holding. Oh, yeah, that's better. There we go. Give us a closer green 5-minute close over here on the Dow. Give us a pullback on this next candle. Take some entries. If it stops out, it stops out. But I do want to take some Dow longs off of 53,453. If we get that pullback, we might not get that pullback. Entry might be somewhere over here with stop loss near the lows. That's too wide of a stop loss for me. I'd rather either take the pullback entry or not take anything. NASDAQ is trying to hold off of that demand. I do think that NASDAQ might be trying to reverse to the upside right now. Am I in it? No, that's okay. The Dow is the one I'm a bit more interested in waiting for. See if we can get that pullback. And if we don't, we don't. If we don't, we don't. Ba-dump. NAS pulling back. ES trying to move higher. Again, Dow is going to support the ES more than it supports the NASDAQ, as NASDAQ is its own tech index. Dow is more of a growth index. It's midnight here, off to bed. Hey, have a good night. Pleasure seeing you. Pleasure having you in here. Have a great evening. We will see you tomorrow. I'm here every day. Join me every day. Follow on Instagram. I've got my own little free community of my own. Love for you guys to join. But really, really cool having you all here today and every day. Oh, the Dow just retested our zone. No way. That's what I get for yapping. Bro, it tested it. I missed the entry. All right, we'll try to take it a little higher. Still have to keep stop loss near the low. All right. Go light on this. Nothing crazy. We'll take a little Dow there. And if it fails, it fails. We were still waiting for ES and NQ. NQ still trying to hit that demand zone. ES is struggling. Dow trying to hold. That's nice. There we go. It's what we want to see. Beautiful. There we go. Look at that. Nice little re-entry there on the Dow, guys. Good work. Good work. And again, Dow has a lot more strength to it, so it's got a lot more momentum and a follow-through, right? We were just at all-time highs. It makes it that much easier for markets to return to those all-time highs. XAU USD, GC. Look at those, man. They're rejecting that supply area. That's why we ain't chasing. Yo, what's up? What's up, brother? How are you? Good morning. Good morning. Man, we just entered some Dow longs. So right now we're letting that play out. Took it off the retests, 53, 467. So guys, this is a great example of waiting for your reaction. So, right, we pushed lower, pushed into this demand zone. I said, I'm not randomly taking it with my stop loss at the low. I want to wait for a reaction. And what did the market do? It swept those lows. All those impatient traders got in and got stopped out. And then what happened? Price reversed on them. So instead of taking that right away, I said, okay, great. There's our reaction. I'm looking for a retest. I'll take it on the retest, target the highs, stop near the lows. And that's it, man. Wait for the reaction, wait for the proof. But let's see, we still got a minute 30 there. And if it fails, it fails. That right? That's what stop losses are for. It's what keeping your stops capped is for. NASDAQ tried so hard to get to that support zone, but we did not. Tried so hard and failed. Jeb may come just to say hi. Yeah, right. Yo, that'd be nice. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't think Jeev is going to be joining us today. I thought he was. Was hoping he would. But again, if you're busy, man, you're busy. Things happen. I'd still be waiting for gold for a pullback entry versus trying to chase anything up here. Dow is holding nicely. Look at that. That's a nice trade. This is going to be our trade of the day right here, guys, on the Dow. As long as if we get a nice close above VWAP, I'd have good confidence in this to continue. Take a look at ES. ES trying to break through this supply. We're still currently trading under it. NQ trying to get to that demand zone. I'm just waiting. Just wait. Ooh, I am struggling a little bit here. Nothing crazy. No make or break in this market just yet. There we go. Pulling back a little bit. Let's see. Let's see. What else? Guys, what are you looking at right now? What are you trading yourself right now? Are you taking anything on gold? Are you forcing any trades? Are you taking anything on oil? Did you take that Dow trade with me? What are you guys looking at? Don't forget, very important to look at the dollar too. Dollar trying to move lower, supports gold to the upside. There you go, staying out of the market for today. Good, man. Good holding on your patience, right? We got to be able to recognize which days we want to trade, which days we don't want to trade. NASDAQ really wants that break lower into that demand. Look at that big sell candle right here. This big seller, that tells me we are going to hit this demand very soon. Let's see. Waiting for gold to pull back. Nice. Yeah, me too. Me too. And it is. It's trying to pull back. Dow is struggling. It did retest that zone again. Let's see. Gold pulling back, oil doing nothing. NASDAQ so close to that supply area. I do think it's going to happen very soon. We do have a lot of passive buyers down here, so I'd want to see those start to hold price that supports my longs in this demand zone. So we'll see. Again, wait for the reaction. Once we hit it, we're not taking a random long position. We're being patient. Kevin, when you place your trade, you always streaming? Yeah, for the most part, I trade within, I like to always tell you guys, right? Have structure in your trading, structure in your routine. The structure for my trading is, so what's it called? Is a time frame window too, where I like to mainly place my trades on ES and NQ between, we'll say like 9:30 and 11, right? That hour and a half window, even to like 11:30, and come on earlier to say, okay, hey, listen, this is what I'm looking at. This is our breakdown. This is my pre-market prep. Now I'm ready for the day. Yes, and NQ has the most volume during New York session, so that's when I'll trade it. Dow is getting pretty close to stop, just a heads up, guys. Yeah, not a fan. It's definitely getting weak. If it hits stop, it hits stop. I'm not just jumping out right now. I'd rather let it run to stop loss versus getting shaken out. So that's something that's important too, guys. If you're in a trade and it runs in the red a little bit and you're freaking out, like, oh my God, I have to get out of here. I have to exit this. It's going to hit my stop loss. No, your stop loss is when you get out. And if you traded too heavy in size, that a little bit of drawdown makes you freak out, you need to reevaluate how much you're positioning. NQ, yeah, look at that NASDAQ trying to reject off that support right here. Bit of a double bottom action. US needs a paternity test for the Dow. It moves so different a lot of times, but yeah, not the same industries. Yeah, right? That's great. Yep, YM, there we go. It's going to hit stop. That's fine, guys. That is fine. No problem. We move on to the next one, right? Something me and Nil, all of us have in common is we're able to take losses and then take a bigger win, right? Let your winners outweigh your losses, but always have your trade plan set up. Something I've noticed on the NASDAQ lately is it's been loving the opening price level. So that is my target for today. If we can find a reversal and move back higher. At this point, if I was looking for an entry long on NQ, 538. I'd want to see if we could break back above 25.38 right over here. So if we can come back higher, so I'd look for this. Breaking lower right now, hold demand, we pull back, and we break this level, we pull back, take it on the longs, and go higher from there. And stop loss will be wherever our recent low is. Right now, sitting on our hands on NASDAQ. We knew the selling pressure was coming. I mentioned that we'll be looking for selling also because of the whole SpaceX situation today. SpaceX down to 153. Ha ha. Jeeve coming. Man, Jeeve was supposed to join us today. I called him and it's still ringing. I'm pretty sure he put me on hold. No, I'm just kidding. But he was supposed to come. He was having some troubles this morning. So I don't think he'll be joining us today, unfortunately. But it was still a phenomenal stream regardless, right? Always great to bring our all every day. I forget what artist it was. There's a singer. I want to say like Bruce Springsteen or something. Somebody who, an old artist who's been performing for so long. Somebody asked them, it's been 50 years. How do you still go out there and perform that well with that much energy and that much heart? And he said, well, I go out there like every day is my first, obviously ours would be stream, but every day is my first show. And I love that analogy. I love that thought. So I come into these market episodes with you guys with that same mindset. Every day is the first episode of market in the morning. Every day is something to learn, and we got to be excited about it. Guys, we're hitting 70 likes. You guys are the goats. Let's go run that to 75 and 80. NASDAQ continuing lower here. Why we're not just jumping in random longs? Because we see the price action is moving lower. ES probably rejected that supply zone again. Now it's close. It did push back lower. We do have some more downsides to take care of, so I would like to see ES move down towards 75.40, from here. Let's see. It looks like we're getting some headlines. Hello, little market. I thought I saw something come out. Tanker transit. Nope, nothing major right here. Anything under all? Nope. Nope, I thought I saw something. That's fine, because you know why? We have our headline notifications, so that if we're closing our market tab, it's going to pop up in the bottom over here for us. Now, something I'll mention, Market Stream is my new everyday. Oh, there we go. I love to see that. I love to see that right there. That's a W right there, man. Grab a picture of that. You guys are goats. This whole team, man. I'm telling you guys, Market AI team is undefeated. But you guys here, we're building a community here with Market in the Morning. I love to see what you guys have to say, see how you guys are trading, any insights, any questions. And, you know, you guys, again, any questions, please let me know. Don't feel hesitant. Don't think. I also want to get this out there, guys. There is no such thing as a stupid question. There's no such thing as a bad question. Every question is a good question, because guess what? If you have that question, I can almost guarantee somebody else watching right now has that same question. So you're not only doing yourself a solid, you're doing everybody else a solid. You're giving insight, you're giving confidence to other traders. Somebody who might not be confident enough to ask it themselves, you could ask it. See, bro, I know. G and Nil handle questions a little bit differently than I do. I feel like there's no such thing as a stupid question. They feel like there can be a little bit of stupidity in markets. Listen, man, there is. We're not going to say there's not. There is, right? There's a reason 90 to 95% of traders fail. But I want to encourage you guys to ask questions. I want to encourage you guys, even if you're asking a question of a wrong bias, right? Somebody asked earlier, are we looking for shorts on gold? I'm not going to be like, no, what are you, dumb? Or no, what, you didn't watch it? No, I'm going to explain it to you. I'm going to give you guys that insight, break things down. You might, and guess what? You could be saying short on gold. I could be like, oh yeah, you know what? That's a great point. We're at this major area of resistance right now. Yeah, maybe a short-term gold short, that might play out okay. So very good. Ask away. Any questions, big questions, little questions, happy questions, sad questions, you name it. NASDAQ doing the cha-cha down here in demand. Now, something I will mention is when we're in a zone. So when I find my zone, supply, demand, all these things, if I'm in a demand zone, I am not going short. That is one of my rules. So I have to wait for a reaction. That reaction would be a move lower and a retest to go short, or it would be a hold, and then we take it on the retest. But right now, we're staying out of it. I know you guys are saying gold is moving towards our zone. Let's see. Yo, it's close. It is close. Patience. Patience, young samurais. Yeah, but you know what? As much as we handle things differently in terms of those types of questions, Jeev is still a GOAT. Nalab is still a GOAT. Great, great guys. Very smart people and great insights. News on SpaceX getting on the indices and the entire market comes crashing. Bro, I mean, what else were we expecting, right? I mentioned also where we at on NASDAQ. NASDAQ is much closer to that higher low level. We sweep this higher low. We're done for. We're gonzo. Yeah, Jeev lost patience in people. I'll tell you what, man. I lost patience in people too when I was going through my medical situation and I was just left to die in the hospital. I had my intestines hanging out. They said, you're not looking too good. They sent me home. It's called TPN. It's nutrition through an IV. I was unable to eat anything. For 6 months, I was on a TPN. Again, the guts hanging out. Whole horrible situation. I lost patience with everybody. I was done. It was an F everybody mentality at that point. But that's not going to get you anywhere. I'd much rather treat people how I want to be treated. And I want to, yeah, I guess really just treat people how I want to be treated and give people the insight and the guidance that I never had, right? That I didn't have for a long time, that I wish I had sooner. That is the type of mentality I want to have and bring to you guys. 15-minute. Look at our 15 right here. Big sell candle on that 15. I would not just jump in random longs here. We are trying to breach back above that demand zone, though, which is a good thing. right? Buyers trying to hold. I mentioned that earlier when we had this candle, we closed green, that usually would have been my entry to go long. Well, now that we had that closed green in demand, it's still not my entry to go long because we didn't close back outside of it yet. I want to see buyers take complete control, close price back above that price level, then I will take it long. And guess what? If that doesn't happen, most likely we're going to continue lower. Yeah, bro, that dude, you're 100% right on that. 100% right on that. It did change me 100%, dude. I keep it with me, man. Always remember where you came from and grab that. We'll do a little life lesson right now. This here, you guys get 2 life lessons right here. This is called an ostomy bag. They removed my entire large intestine, small intestine hanging out. That's where I was at. I'm no longer in that position. They put me back together. Another doctor figured it out. It wasn't even that big of a deal, and it was better. I have to thank God. This right here, this was the machine that pumped the TPN. I was on round the clock nutrition through IV. I was to a pole. It was horrible. Bro, I was like 90 pounds. Dude, I'm 5'9", 90 pounds. I was dying. I was not good. But stay strong. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. If you stay determined in anything you do, trading, getting ready for a marathon, getting ready for an important test, you're going to achieve. You're going to succeed. You're going to do well. Once you start giving up, once you start questioning yourself, or you start listening to the haters saying, oh, that's not possible, you shouldn't do it, that's when you'll start to fail. Believe in yourself. Trust in yourself. What keeps you going in those hard times, bro? You just knowing that this can't be it. This can't be it. There has to be more. I have so much to offer, so much to give to people. This can't be it. I have to push through that. And of course, a very strong support system. My family being there, thank God for them. Wouldn't be here without them. My mom, especially, she went up and beyond. I was sick at the very beginning of COVID, and I just turned 21. So no visitors in the hospital. So they were literally, I was vomiting. I just wasn't right, man. I was losing weight. I was in the hospital. They said it would be a 4-day stay. I was in there for 4 weeks straight. They told me it'd be a 4-day stay. You'll be home eating steak and potatoes in 4 days. 4-week stay, left throwing up with a misdiagnosis and a TPN. It was wild. But listen, man, you just keep pushing through. Every difficulty thrown your way means there's something even better coming your way. Did gold hit our level? Okay, gold hit our level. Finally, man. Finally. All right, but we're saying, what's up, Seb? Seeing a bit of a shift here on the dollar and yields. Okay, we'll keep an eye on that. Where's our dollar at? The dollar's starting to pump. I will say, however, dollar's coming near the high of its current range. So dollar coming to the high of its range. Gold coming back to that pullback area we were looking for. Oh, come on, TradingView. There we go. Could be a possible entry. So I'm going to be patient. We're going to wait for the reaction. Again, we're not jumping in randomly here. We're waiting for the reaction. Right now, this is the area I would consider, but we'll be patient. I appreciate that, man. We're all warriors, right? We're all warriors of our own story. You're writing your own story right now. My struggles are different from yours. Yours are different from the next. You just got to keep pushing through and know that there's something better around the corner as long as you stay positive, consistent, and show up every single day. Now let's take a look at our ES and NQ. NQ been doing a whole lot of chop. This is exactly why I said I wanted to see a close back above this zone, because imagine you took longs up here just to get faded 60 points against you. And you're still in a demand zone. So you'd be like, oh, do I hold my stop loss? Do I move it lower? No trade right here. XAU USD, GC. I will say XAU USD, I had a bit of a lower point than GC. You know, it's a bit more over here. And this is sort of one of the reasons, too, that I'm a big fan of waiting for the reaction versus just jumping in randomly. Once you're patient enough and waiting for that reaction, you're not going to be jumping in 40 times and taking so many paper cuts. You're going to wait for confirmation and then take the trade accordingly. ES sort of choppy right now. It's 10.06 at the moment. It tried a move up. It failed. failed to move lower, trying to move higher again. Would really only be interested in shorts off supply. The XAUUSD spot lines up well with 4150. Yeah, exactly. 41. I know. You know what? That's why I really like that area too. 4150 on XAUUSD key psych level right there. A lot of people watching that. Lines up with their optimal trade area from the start of this trend to the end of the trend. So pretty good spot. 4150 XAUUSD. Last guys finish nice on the market. I think you mean nice guys finish last on the markets. Nah, that's just in real life that nice guys finish last. It doesn't, markets don't care how nice or mean you are. Markets just care that you follow your rules and that you're disciplined and patient. How do you use fibs? Great question. So let me remove it for now and I'll show you. So to use a fib, what you want to do is you want to find your trend. So here we have our trend right here, and you want to take your fib tool and you want to mark it from the low of the trend, so the start of the trend, to the high if it's a bull trend. And ideally, you want your 0 to be at the top, your 100 to be at the bottom, and the main levels you're looking at is the 61 to 78. This is your optimal trade entry area. I'm sure Nalab also does an OTE trade setup too. I don't know if he does the same style. This was something that I learned. This is more of a like an ICT sort of concept, but we have to remember that ICT did not invent anything. He just renamed a bunch of shit. So optimal trade entry, that's also something to consider, the 50% area. That will also dictate if we're below 50%, this is our discount. So we want to buy at a discount. And if we're above 50%, that's our premium. So we would want to sell in a premium. So something to keep in mind. This would be a nice little buy opportunity. Oh, last isn't. Got you, bro. Got you. XAUUSD, GC continuing. I'm not in any trades on GC. I stopped out of that Dow trade. That Dow trade did stop. So look at this. This is one of the main reasons too why we're happy to say, great, I stopped out. I didn't move my stop loss and risk 2x my risk and then get stopped out anyways. I listened to my stop loss. I took the paper cut. Now I could go about my day. Nice. Good stuff. Guys, great episode, ladies and gentlemen. I do apologize for Jeeve not showing up. It happens. We were looking for him to join today, but again, it happens. We can't blame the guy. He's a busy dude, man. He's getting a lot done. Not only does he help with running Capital Hungry, he is capital hungry, but he does a lot on the market AI side too. So big round of applause to Jeeve for just doing everything that he does. Round of applause to you guys for being here and showing up every day. Showing up every day is half the battle. Once you start slacking and you start showing up, I'll show up tomorrow, I'll show up later, I'll drag on into the markets, or I'll wake up, roll out of bed and jump onto the charts. That's when you'll start seeing inconsistencies. That's when you'll start seeing fail after fail on your prop accounts and just a lack of follow through. So let's see. ES, any big headlines? UK maritime trade operations reports tanker hit by unidentified drone. That's great. Fantastic. But nothing crazy. Nothing impacting our markets right now. I will not leave the stream, Gene. I'm not, bro. I guess we're going to have to run a 24-hour stream. I'll tell them that people aren't leaving till you show up. That's great. That is great. I know. I should message him. It's like GTF over here. All right, but that's fine, man. He's busy. He's a busy dude. Hopefully we'll get him on soon. Today's Tuesday. Don't forget, guys, today's Tuesday, which means tomorrow we have special guest Imre joining us. Very excited, dude. I love those episodes with Imre. Again, he's an institutional trader, so his background is extremely strong. He has great, I don't want to say great connections. Obviously, he's got great connections. So do I, but he's got great insights. He's seen things we haven't seen. His experiences are much greater than a lot of ours. So we take that to our advantage when he's here on Wednesdays and ask questions, Ask questions whether it's about positioning, ask questions whether it's about anything. NASDAQ still struggling. This is also one of the reasons I'm not taking a short in demand. You take a short over here, you get wicked out, you get stopped out. You think, oh, I knew I should have gone long. You go long, you get stopped out. Do you really want to get wicked 50 times? I don't think so. Guys, don't forget, man, we do lives every single day, Monday through Friday here on the Market AI terminal, Market AI YouTube page. And don't forget also, if you are using the market terminal itself, you can use, if you have multiple screens, you could have a screen with your market up, a screen with your trading view up, and you could go to your market TV tab, and you could watch market in the morning right here on your market terminal. And guess what? You could even come over here to dashboard while you click it. Now look, it's playing over here. You can move it around. You can play it wherever you want. You could be listening to us, trade, and use your market terminal all at the same time. Extremely cool features, all thanks to, of course, the homies at the Market AI in the back end. The M5 guy is also good. Which M5 guy? I think we may run into previous days low before we get the move on NASDAQ. Yeah, SJ, I'm with you on that. 100% with you on that. Previous day low is... Oh, actually, no, I think we hit previous day low. We're below previous day low. The previous day low is way up here on NQ. Let's see. Yeah, well, to request the NFP webinar, yeah, I got you, bro, 100%. Load NFP webinar. To YouTube, right? I got you guys. Oh, no. Oh, yeah, no lab. Yeah, bro. Oh, the M5. You're talking about his car. Yeah, bro. He's got a sick car. I thought it was an M4. M3? It's an M5, yeah? Yeah, no lab's the GOAT, bro. He's a homie. Great guy. Great streams, great analysis, great trades. And yo, guys, guess what? Even the lab was like, listen, ever since doing these market in the morning streams, my trading's been better. Like, yo, we're all about accountability. We're all about discipline. Yeah, it is an M4, right? You guys are funny, man. You guys are great. Yeah, M4 comp. Nice. Love to see it. Cool, man. Yo, you know what Nalab said? He said he's getting everybody an M4 comp on the market team. So only if we get to 1,000 or 2,000 recurring viewers here on Market in the Morning. So if you guys ever have inputs to make the show better, please let me know. I'm always taking input, always taking insights. And yo, Piyush, as for your question about the NFP, I already sent them a message. So hopefully we'll have that up at some time today. Tell him it's an M4. Yeah. 29,327. Yo, we're coming for that higher low, bro. I'm telling you guys, I've been screaming bear market since we had that NFP all the way over here. This is June 5th. This is a month ago. I've been saying we're shifting into a bear market since we swept these lows. That's our catalyst. Markets are pricing in more of a hawkish Fed. That's not going to change until economic data proves and says otherwise. Breaking lower here. 29,279. Yeah, 328, 327. Yeah, that was that. So that wasn't previous day low. That was like previous day low, like 2 days ago. But still an important level to watch. Yeah, thanks, Elon. Yeah, Elon and Warsh. This is all Elon and Warsh's fault. Let's take a look at SpaceX. Keep dropping, SpaceX. Keep dropping. We'll get a nice opportunity, a nice buying opportunity on SpaceX once it surpasses $100 a share. People will be freaking out, guys. By that time, people are going to be freaking out like crazy. Yep, guys, don't forget, we do have a market Discord. So I'm going to send you guys the link to join our free Discord community right now. And I copy, I'm going to send that over here for you guys. Feel free to join. Always happy to have you guys in there. There you could send screenshots and stuff of your charts, ask questions if you have any questions. Always happy to help. Let's see, NQ. Let's see. Okay, cool. So there we go. I just got an answer about the NFP webinar. It's on YouTube right now. It's unlisted. They're going to set it to public. Yeah, let's check XAUSD. Is that trying to hold? Oh, bro, so close. So close. I think we get one more little dip into this area. VWAP is starting to line up with it too. So now what are we getting, guys? We're getting confluence. We're getting VWAP as support, low volume shelf as support, optimal trade entry as support. This is 3 confirmations, right? I don't know about you guys, but I'm a big fan of confirmations when it comes to trading. I don't want to see just a reaction. I want to see VIX reversing. I want to see another reason to enter a trade, whether it's a low volume shelf, whatever the case may be. Give me multiple reasons to take this trade. It makes your trades more high probability, which means when you take them, if you get stopped out, you followed your trend, you followed your trade. And if you don't, it's like a high probability setup. It encourages good habits. Let's see. So that's gold. That's XAUUSD right here. NASDAQ broke that lower low, man. Bear, sell, sell, sell. We got to get Kramer on here. That'd be freaking funny, man. Be like, Kramer, are you bullish or bearish? And he'd be like, I'm bullish. And then markets would just drop like 400 points against him. Oil pulling back. Oil has been continuing higher. I mentioned also, guys, earlier that if oil continues higher, it's going to cause a bit of selling pressure on equities too. And that's exactly what we're seeing. We're seeing higher oil, lower equities. Look at XLE. Excuse me. XLE is our energy ETF. Look at that energy also moving higher. That's funny, man. I mentioned it in the inverse of that. I said lower energy costs is better for tech because it's a higher ROI for them because it's less they have to spend on energy. Energy moves up, tech moves lower. Not a complete divergence. It's not a complete confluence where it has to move like that, but that is usually a bit of an underlying fundamental with them. The GC level, that's an area that we started to hold, so that might be something, but I'm not in this trade. We were a little bit scattered there, but we'll see. Kramer is the real fundamental analyst. Yeah, he's the real fundamental analyst. If he says jump, you better duck. If he says duck, you better jump. VIX has been moving higher. This is also from our pre-market analysis. I said VIX is in an area that every time prices moved into it, we've moved higher on the VIX. So if we're moving higher on the VIX, we're moving lower on ES and NQ. ES was at supply, VIX was at a key level, double confluence right there. Confluence is key. Confirmation is power. And you guys running that like button up is amazing. We're at 76. You guys are goated. Let's shoot for 80. Let's shoot for 100. Let's get her done. I think ES, I mentioned ES is going to come down to 75.40. It's going to. I think it's even going to hit possibly 75.09. Daily time frame, is that a reasonable price target? A little bit. 75.40 is a bit more reasonable. NQ. NASDAQ just so weak. That's definitely being led by a lot of the selling pressure we're seeing on SpaceX right now. SpaceX, come on, drop below 150. Headline came out, Iran hitting 2 ships in the Straits. You think it will have an impact on gold? If not, what could be the reason for it to have a long-term impact? So great question. I do think that headline came out. I thought that headline came out the other day, not even the other day. I think last night. Let's check our market terminal. Come over to our search tab, and we could look up 2 ships. We'll look up 2 ships. No, not 2 chains. 2 ships. Iran fired at least 2 missiles at commercial ships transiting through the Strait of Hormuz. So yeah, this was 13 hours ago. Didn't have the biggest of impacts on markets, right? Arguably it had an impact on ES, but remember that was how many hours ago? That was, oh, come on. Nice, it's right there. Love it. Love you, market. 13 hours ago. So let's see. 13 hours ago, where were we? 16, here we go, 13 hours ago. Yeah, so it did put a bit more of a bearish spin on things. So it is somewhat holding us. The thing is, we're not reacting to these headlines as strong as we used to, right? When the war was really going on and we were getting headlines every other day with things like U.S. sends 10,000 ground troops. U.S. attacks Navy SEALs. U.S. starts a blockade. All of that was giving us those jolts to the downside. And once we had our ceasefire talks come in, right at that 5% drop on ES, that's when price really started to reverse with strength. It gave us a beautiful uptrend. I hope you guys were able to capitalize on that. That uptrend continued and lasted until June 3rd. Now, why did that uptrend fail? Well, it didn't fail for no reason. I always say markets can't reverse for no reason. This push lower was the Iran war. This reversal was the ceasefire. We'll call that CF, ceasefire. Now what happened over here? Non-farm payroll, hawkish Fed, hawk. So we're getting a catalyst. I do think that this catalyst, as long as it holds, will bring us lower. You know what? Bit of a faster way of doing that. There we go. Beautiful. Okay, very good. Good stuff, guys. Great episode today, ladies and gentlemen. It is 10:22. You guys have been a phenomenal audience. We're a few likes away from hitting 80, so I do appreciate you all for joining and showing your support. We do these episodes every day for you guys. Market in the morning, Monday through Friday, 8:20 to 10:30. Yeah, these kinds of headlines will come here and there. As Max Payne of War is priced in, just like we see Russia and Ukraine headlines, but not headlines not moving ahead. Yeah, exactly. So not as much of like the Ukraine and Russia headlines, but definitely, yeah, a lot of that war risk has been priced in. But that was really that bear move. At this point, we're still bullish off the ceasefire, if that. But I do think that we're going to end up reversing back to the downside off of that hawkish Fed. We just need a bit more clarity on the hawkish Fed or bullish Fed. There we go. XAU USD trying its best to get down there. Yeah, appreciate you, Blaze. Yes, sir. You already know how we do. You already know, baby. Yes, sir. 81 likes. You guys are goats. What a team. What a stream. What a dream. I appreciate you all for being here. I appreciate the support. Great breakdowns. Great little life lessons in there today, too. Those who joined, be active on it. Share charts, etc. Yeah, in Discord, guys. In the Discord chat. Let me find that again. Definitely. I'm going to invite friends. Copy. Invite. You guys could invite friends, too. Come join. You know, we're always in here. Always active. Drop something. If you do message something, I would definitely say to at myself, so at Kevin, and let me know. Be like, hey, Kevin, what do you think about this zone? Hey, Kevin, what about A, B, and C? How do you like that? Look at this trade setup. Share your thoughts. Share your charts. I'm all about it, guys. Love helping you guys. Love talking with you guys. I'm a little bit of a talker, but I'm a good listener, too. Don't worry. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what a phenomenal stream. It is 10:24. We could wait for the goal to get to that level. NASDAQ trying to continue lower, and it is succeeding to continue lower. Kev, allow users to send a link in the YouTube chat. They can ask better questions about their entries and trade ideas. I'm going to look into see how we can do that. I think there were actually two things we got to check out now. And that's going to be let you actually no, I'm not going to let users send links on YouTube because that's going to lead to a lot of spam. What happens though if you guys send links? Does it just block the message? And the other thing is the captions. Somebody asked about automatic captions. Auto captions. There we go. NASDAQ continuing lower. Again, why we don't just buy randomly in demand. If anything, we were looking for those shorts on the failure. Now we can look for a retest. Look at this. Check this out. Low volume shelf right here on NASDAQ. And it lines up with the fair value gap. Looking at it right now, this could have possibly been our entry. But if we missed that, which we did, we would be looking for a retest back into this zone, stop near those highs, and look for continuation. Strong selling pressure. Guys, you guys are going to go on social media today and see so many people go, would that sell-off come from? Why were we so bearish? Why this? Why that? We know why. We've been here in market in the morning every day. We've been covering the fundamentals. We've been covering the reasons. We've been covering the price levels. When you're trading, you're not just looking at candles. You're looking at price levels, price, and time. They can send on Discord so we can go through everyone's charts during the stream. Yeah, exactly. Guys, 100%. I want you guys to join the Discord so that you guys could share charts in here and we could go over it during the stream. How cool would that be? Very cool. Very helpful. Great call on that safe. Let's see. YM chopping around. Glad we stopped out. It's all about managing the trades. XAU USD dancing around. ES continuing lower. Look at that. There's that 40 level that I mentioned. 75.40 is going to be hit. I mentioned that when we were at 75.60. That's another 20 points right there on NQ. If anybody took that, great job. Great breakdown today, ladies and gents. NQ, everything, man. Everything. Next price target on NASDAQ is 29,192. 29,192. Huge. We're going to it. Definitely going to it. Let's take a look at SpaceX. SpaceX struggling, trying to break back below that $150 mark. If SpaceX can get below 149.27, that is new all-time. Oh, actually, no, all-time low is going to be. Why do I want? All right, right over here. There we go. Yeah, Mr. Random, bro, you're 100% on that. Gold is way too annoying today. It definitely got a lot of people up here. You guys remember what looked like it was breaking out? You guys were like, gold's flying. I was like, wait. We don't want to buy the breakout. We don't want to buy high. We want to buy low. So yeah, I do think this could be a possible spot to start entering a gold trade. Stops near these 51.44s. We wanted to see 41.50 on XAU. It was just about 2 points away. GC was in that area already. So it's trying to hold. So that again gives me a little confidence in how price is starting to round over here and try to move higher. Other than that, staying patient. Great analysis. Oil continuing higher. Gold chopping and doing absolutely nothing. We may see XAU at 41.25. That would be a big pullback. That'll bring us all the way to our point of control of today. Yeah, if we fail this recent pivot high, so here's our most recent high or low around 41.39, then yeah, we're most likely going to head towards that point of control around 41.25. But I would not go short over here. Right now, buyers still have control on gold. We do not want to be fighting that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, before I wrap up the stream, please let me know if you have any questions, you have any comments. Go show some love on social media. Instagram is @tradingwithkev. Instagram for Market AI is marketai.insights. Definitely make sure you go like and follow a whole bunch of posts on marketai.insights. Show some love. We unfortunately had to start our Instagram over, as many of you know. But it is what it is. Minor setback, major comeback. That's how everything is in life, guys. It's how you got to see everything. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys enjoyed today's stream. This was a solo Kevin episode. So sorry Jeeve did not show up. But yo, this was still an absolute banger, guys. So thank you for all the engagement. Thank you for the liking. Thank you for subscribing. And I will see you all back here tomorrow with Imre. Have a great day. Trade carefully, and I'll see you next time. Peace.